So Wednesday travelled down to Kenilworth Road, hoping to get a result against Luton, and hoping that they weren't going to have to rely on a decent refereeing performance. Luton Town, Kaminski in goal, back three of Burke and McGuinness, the ex-Wednesday loanee, and Mengi, midfield forward of Walters, Walsh, Nakamba and Doughty, and a front three of Clark, Adebayo and Chong. As for the Owls, couple of changes, Dishon Bernard into the back line, Beadle in goal, Palmer, Bernard and Firmao as the back three, midfield from right to left, Valeri, Charles, Bannon and Johnson, and a front three, Michael Smith coming in up front for Ugbo, of Windass, Smith and Kabaski. This is such a frustrating one to try and record because I know all action happens in second half really, but it was a positive start from Wednesday. Just two changes to that team from QPR match. Bernard coming into the back line, which I think is understandable. He's probably our best ball playing centre half, I think. And Michael Smith up front, who not everybody's cup of tea, and obviously they were talking about him leaving in summer. But I think he's had a few useful, cameos from the bench, including last week coming on and setting Barry Bannon's goal up with that lovely little chest down. So understandable change there, I think, from Danny. And it's only a couple of weeks ago that we were saying Ugbo weren't ready for a start, so it was a bit surprising to see him in there at Millwall. And he's not really looked like he's 100%. You can see where Danny were coming from, so he's dropped back down to the bench. But other than that, I thought that looked like a strong Wednesday lineup, yeah. It's so annoying. Oh, God. Don't bleeding joyriders again. Yeah, Wednesday. Positive start from Wednesday. Again, so it's never ending. Do you know, I don't know if it's lockdown. Maybe it is lockdown. But since then, never ending with car racing, thievery, burglaries, absolutely through the roof, It's alright, and then they end up knocking innocent people over, don't they? When they're racing about like wankers at this time of night. It fucks me off. There's some sort of vigilante group with stingers and bats to just pull them out of cars and give them a good pasting. I'm not in a very good mood today. Right, back to game. Positive start from Wednesday. Some nice link play. Again, we're seeing signs of that partnership with Kabaski and Johnson down the left-hand side. That was something we saw last week against QPR, and thought they built on that again. Enjoyed that. And suddenly that right-hand side, I think there's some nice play starting to develop between Palmer and Valerie down there. That's something I'd like to see progress a bit more in coming weeks. And I thought we looked a bit more solid. Charles is coming again. He's really composed on ball, and I think he belies his youth, with that sort of calmness that he projects. And it was a good start Wednesday, and Windass had a bit of a shot after about 20 minutes. I thought Wednesday looked comfortable, right, which is about best you can say in an away fixture, isn't it? Kabaski had a really good bit of skill, good feet. It was about half an hour in, about half an hour in. Cut inside on left hand side, come inside, two players, killed one just round post. He will go for the old Terry Curran at Bramall Lane style finish there. And what I would say is I quite relaxed watching it. I was quite relaxed watching it away from home against a decent side, albeit they've not had best start, but a decent side. I thought, yeah, we're doing all right here. They nicked that vital first goal. I think we're on foot win. Luton started growing into it more towards break. I would say Wednesday had first 15-20 minutes. I thought Luton started coming back into it a bit. Still a level game. I won't say the needle swung from one end to the other. That Wednesday still had best of it, but they were coming back into the game a bit more. As Luton start getting back into the game and starting to forge a few chances of their own, there was a brilliant bit of defending from Charles. I said how composed he is when he's got ball for the young lad. But this defensive I thought was absolutely fantastic. They'd got a set piece, they'd sent the big lads up, McGuinness comes up front back, gives it back, and McGuinness heads it back in, and Charles throws himself at it. And it's one of those, it's a really brave header, because if you get that wrong by a fraction, it's in back of your own net. It's so easy to score an own goal from that position. And the easiest thing in the world to do is to leave it. To be Nesh and go, please, now if I touch that, 9 times out of 10 it's probably going to go back at our onion bag. But he don't, it's coming back across because he knows he's got two lads behind him who would have an absolute tapping. So he hurls himself at it, full diving header, past our post, and it's bravery. And I want to see more of that from lads. I thought it was fantastic. Young lad to take that on. Like I said, it's the easiest thing in the world to nesh it and go, I'm not touching that. And, when we talk about bravery on a football pitch, I think we sometimes think about folks chucking themselves into needless tackles or reckless tackles or getting their head up there or whatever. But sometimes bravery can be the other side. Bravery, yeah, I'm gonna go at that. I'm gonna go at that. And if it don't come off, I've got big enough shoulders to take it. So I thought that was a really positive thing to see. Young lad, I'm not bothered. I'm going to go and attack that. If it goes wrong, it goes wrong. But what I'm not going to do is let one of them have a tapping. And I like that idea. I like that attitude. So I was really impressed with that. Alas, what are you cheering at? One of our lads has just headed it past his own post. All right, brilliant. But to me, love that bravery. So just before half time, Baski has another one. It's a half sniff of a chance. We break down right hand side. Smith, I think it's Smith, whips one in. It's ever so slightly sort of behind him. He's trying to get round it. Probably puts it 2 foot wide at post, but it's another half decent opportunity from Wednesday. I'm not going to slag him off because I won't call it a clear cut chance. It was a chance to get a shot away, but I wouldn't have said it was a clear-cut chance or a miss, as you'd say. But yeah, I thought positive half from Wednesday. Coming in at break, bob on. Clean sheet, playing well, playing some nice stuff. Looked to have got a nice balance, as I said. Little partnerships down right, little partnerships down left. Young lad in middle, working with the old maestro Baz. I thought they linked well at times there together, and I thought, yeah, it's a decent balance at side. And if we could, as I said, if we can nick the first goal, I think we can win this game. It's a really interesting last 5 minutes actually, because there's that chance with Kabaski, and then Luton are having a bit of a go at it. Like I said, first 15-20 minutes or so a Wednesday, then I'd say it was a bit more level, a bit more competitive. And then it was sort of end-to-end last 5 minutes. They got a couple of good chances, but what they kept doing is, because there were a lot of set pieces in this game, a lot of throw-ins, a lot of corners, a lot of free kicks with this referee, who I'm trying to forget about for the time being. And they kept sending McGuinness up, and we had McGuinness on loan. We know what a threat he is in there. He's a real unit on set pieces. And they kept finding him. As I said, Charles had headed that one wide of his post, brilliant bit of defending. That was from a McGuinness flick back across, so they'd sent him up there. He was getting his head on a lot of things, a big powerful lad. And then for Mayo, fantastic block in our box again, and it's bravery, it's proper defending, it's getting your body in front of stuff, it's getting your head in there. In fact, Femel did 2 brilliant bits of defending just before break, because one of them was an absolutely fantastic block. Their lad had got on sort of inside right channel and got into the box. Fantastic block from Femel, chucked himself in there, blocked that with his leg, put it for a corner. But then there was also a high ball when he did a brilliant bit of defending, and it's smart defending. It's one of those where he weren't the favourite for it. It was coming down, a slight misjudge at that ball and you're in trouble. He couldn't be sure, and their lad were away. It's easy, but he's facing away from it. So as it comes out, so Firmino will just come, and what he does is he nudges their lad over. He knows he's going to be away, so he nudges him over, but then he goes down himself, and he does it in a way where it looks like they've collided. Oh God, two lads have run into each other and fell over, and because I do think their lad were away. So that was good defence. Two brilliant bits of defending, really, in different ways from Firmino in like a 2-minute window there. Change at half time for Wednesday. Gassama coming on for Kabaski. I don't know if he's got a knock. I thought he had a decent first half. Like I said, there's signs of that little link play with Marvin Johnson. I think there's signs that his fitness is getting there to Championship level. Actually, a couple of really good bits of defending in first half. As I said, it's these little partnerships, isn't it? So Johnson, Kabaski and Firmino down that side. I thought there were some good things from them last week against QPR. Same again. And a couple of times he would even back there winning headers, which is always pleasing to see. Everybody's got to do the job defensively. But he came off at half time. Gassama came on, so I don't know if he's got a knock or something, or whether Danny had looked at it 0-0 and thought, well, we've been on top, but we just need a bit more. And Gassama, within 5 minutes, had showed that he's a different type of winger. Kabaski, we talk about that chance in first half. He's got really good quick feet. He always plays with his head up, gets inside 2 or 3 men. He's looking for options. Then he takes last man and kills it. Gassama's more of it. Get it down, bang, off we go. And he did that. Drove right at heart at Luton defence after an interception. Looking up, tried to get crossing for Windass, and their lad, I don't think it was their centre. Actually, if I've got to be fair, that is a great bit of defending. If you don't go for it, it's the same thing I was saying about Charles in first half. If you don't go for it, it's a tapping. It'll be a tapping for Windass. Keepers out of picture. Brave defending. Chucks him in, somehow gets it over. I don't know how. Well, physics of it. But he chucks him in and manages to clear it for the Wednesday corner. And even though it's opposition, I just really appreciate good defending. I thought that was terrific from there, lad. I'm a bit of a saddo, aren't I? 51 minutes, Wednesday take the lead. Snappy interception from Valeri, their lad, is it Doughty? Heavy touch, takes an heavy touch, knocks it in front of him to get after, and he's knocked it a bit too far. Valeri's in, sharp, travels, gets his head up, keep on about it, gets his head up, that is not an aimless cross, that is literally picked Barry Bannon out, because you've seen him, because the natural angle for cross that angle he stood is there, but he's got head up and it goes there, picks Bannon out brilliantly, and it's a superb finish. It's 2 great goals in a week for Pass. Comes down, keeps it down, gets his foot above it, drills it in. I mean, he could actually have took it down and had a couple of touches. I mean, I was talking about great defending from their lad, a couple of minutes before that, when he's put it over his own bar, defending it. Terrible defending here. And it's a great cross from Valerie. It's a magnificent finish from Bannon. Nobody wins 10 yards. Terrible. I'm sure when they're looking back at game, their manager will be going crackers, because he could set that down and have 2 touches before he levels it. But he don't. Shows confidence at man. Comes over, eye on it, all the way down onto it. Great finish. Great finish. 10 minutes after this, triple sub for Luton, and they try and mix things up. They go 4-4-2, a bit more old fashioned, get second striker on up front. And for all I'm sure the the press will say, oh, brilliant substitutions from their manager, change it to a 4-4-2, won the game. I don't think it's as simple as that, is it? Certainly they were getting it as a 4-4-2 with fullbacks pushing on after we were down to 10 men. But before that, I thought it didn't really that much difference. Wednesday brought on Ugbo for Smith and Ingleson for Bannon. Danny can't win with some people, he brings Bannon off, it's the worst decision in the world, and then other weeks, why is he leaving in on me, he's too old, and I'm a bit ratty-tempered today. But yeah, after the event, I think Danny's taken a little bit of criticism for them substitutions. At the time, I don't think anybody particularly minded that, because it didn't really make a difference. I thought we just carried on playing the same as we had before. I thought we carried on playing well. So stopping play, defending. Liam Palmer gets one of them in neck, so he was down. He looked very groggy actually. There were a lot of flaying arms today. Valerie went down and all. There was a lot of that going on. I mean, which goes unseen. But yeah, they'd gone to a 4-4-2. Wednesday made a couple of changes, but the rhythm of the game didn't change. Don't care what anybody says. Rhythm of the game didn't really change for me. And then the turning point. I mean, when I was a kid, that weren't penalty. When I was a kid, that wasn't a penalty. In fact, when I was a kid, now and again, you'd knock ball on, it would do it. But the game's changed. The new laws and blah, blah, blah. And now it's about the thickness of your fucking armpit hair or whatever it is. So that's handball now. Yeah, that's handball now. That's handball, right? But that ain't. Yeah, no, that ain't. Yeah. It's there to see. It's there to see. They take momentum from that. We're down to 10 men. They bring on Victor Moses, experienced winger, international player. He comes on, puts 2 or 3 crosses in it first minute he's on pitch. Suddenly, their switch to a 4-4-2 is making a big impact. But it will be because it's against 10 men. So, well done to them for that, taking advantage of it. Because sometimes a team goes down to 10 men and it's hard to break them down. But fair play to them, they did. They did get round that, especially down that right hand side with Moses. But it all hinges on that clown. But despite them having a bit of pressure, although not much more pressure than we put on them in first half, I don't think. It's 87 minutes before they score, and I was going to say it was a fortuitous goal, but I'm just going to say it was fucking spozzy. It was spozzy for 2 reasons. The first one is the shot's coming in, Beadle's got it covered, totally got it covered. It hits McGuinness. It hits him and completely changes direction at ball. And it lands, I was going to say at the feet of Morris to tuck it into the gaping net, but it weren't. It actually landed at the hand of Morris, who took it down like a fucking Harlem Globetrotter and volleyed it into back in net. Alright, because that's handball these days, and that ain't. I'm gutted for lads actually. I'm pissed off for me son. I'm pissed off for talking about Wednesday defeats actually. But in this instance, I'm really annoyed for lads because they played ever so well today. They really did. And I know that people are going to be slagging them off and people are going to be talking about we haven't got the mentality. You know, people are going to be talking about the manager making daft substitutions and that weren't needed, and they've worked the socks off today. You know, they've chucked some sense in front of stuff when they've needed to. I mean, the only reason Bernard's there in first place for ref to make that ridiculous decision is because he were blocking something. He'd put himself in there on line. And they've done that all afternoon. They've worked their socks off. They've played some really good football. They were a better team on the day. They were the better team on the day. And they've been robbed of that, you know, by a terrible refereeing decision. Well, actually two, because like I said, the winner is a handball as well, but an old-fashioned handball with a hand, you know, like it used to be. So I'm gutted for lads. I'm gutted for them, because things, like I said, things will implode now because people will be like, oh, that's another defeat. That's 3 out of 4 we've lost. It's not good enough, and blah blah. And yeah, you need to win games. You need to win games, but that was not a bad performance. That was a performance away from home that deserved a win, and they ain't got one through no fault of their own, in my opinion. And that's twice in 2 weeks, as a matter of fact, because they've scored a winner today with handball. We've had a player sent off with what weren't an handball. They've got a penalty. And then last week, you know, QPR, our defender gets wiped out with a foul in the last minute, which the referee doesn't see, even though he's 2 yards away looking straight at it. And then one of their players sits on our goalkeeper. Do you know what I mean? Sits on our goalkeeper while his mate has a shot. Really sick at shit refs. And oh yeah, that's fine. I mean, it evens itself out of its season. It fucking doesn't. Not even it's an out at all. It's over 500 days since we've last had a penalty. 500 days. I try not to be a mardy ass. I do, honestly. I try and look for positives, and I've seen plenty of positives today from Wednesday. I'm not gonna slag lads off. They don't deserve slagging off. You know, if they play crap, I'll say they've played crap. You know, if opposition deserve win, I'll always say, yeah, you know, we've been battered, we've been outplayed, or whatever. You know, we played Leeds of the week. I said, yeah, far better team won that game. You know, played against Sunderland, played off park. I'll always hold my hands up. Played off park. Yep, whatever. That I'll not slag them off for that, because they played ever so well and deserve to win game. I don't know. Maybe that is handball these days. Well, fair enough. I expect to see 4 or 5 penalties a fucking week then. It's just the fact that isn't handball anymore. That's what annoys you, isn't it? But he's one of them who's never played. Like I said, you can always tell the way they tie the boots up and the socks. You can always tell them who's never kicked a ball. Anyway, West Brom next.